All right, welcome everybody to the LongBox Paradox, episode 90. I am Dan, and as the Pew Pewer Jen just said, at Comic Books Will Break Your Heart on Instagram or Comics Will Break Your Heart on YouTube. Sorry for a little bit late of a start. I spilled beer.
Party foul.
I tapped it down to put it on the coaster. That's what happened. That's what I'm sticking with. I see we already have people in the chat. And
who's here?
We've got Rod the Rican, John's Comics with Kids, and Dilbot Abwell. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in. And kind of a loaded week for comics.
You know, I feel kind of bad because, like, you know, you and I talked, my schedule at work changed, and I'm getting used to this new work schedule. And I am #blessed, whatever, with weekends off right now. So I was like, oh, well, I'll go ahead and I'll hit the comic book store on Wednesday after work. Never made it yesterday, so I'm going to go this weekend. So I only downloaded digitally my three picks for the week, and I'll read the rest later.
I actually read everything since I had this week off, so like I'm in a good place with it. And
in case you didn't notice, everyone, Dan has fancy hair. He joined the green team, even though I'm like blue now. It faded. So
yeah, different light. Mine shows up different colors. All right, hold on. Let me do your pick first.
Yeah. So there were 3 from this week. And I honestly would have never picked this one up if it, I'm certain you are kind of Dan with the dye t-shirt and Jennifer. Yes, X-Men. So I got 3 things this week, and the one that I was most excited about, it is kind of my brand, kind of not. I don't know. And per Varian Vigilante, his request, I picked up My Little Pony Transformers.
Oh, that came out?
Yeah, it came out. And boy, howdy, let me tell you, it's adorable. It was so delightful. I literally I read it on my lunch break today, and like, so completely sober because I'm at work and, you know, I'm not getting drunk on the clock. You know, at least I won't admit to it. So anyways, I read My Little Pony Transformers. I have no clue about either of these worlds. I don't know, whatever the ponies are, Sparkle Tits and, I don't know, Robo, whatever. I don't know, whatever their names are. But it was delightful. So if you want someone to, you know, write a, like, R-rated, I don't know, whatever. It was good. I think it did a really good job for someone like me who I'm not invested in those worlds necessarily. #Sparkle Tits. Yeah, 100%.
Well, now it's trending.
now it's trending. Trademarked. But so I read that, and for someone like me who doesn't know really anything about Transformers and knows anything about My Little Pony whatsoever, it was delightful. I really enjoyed it. It set it up and made the characters feel kind of familiar. Basically, what's going on is one queen pony does this thing, and there's a portal, and then all of a sudden the bots come through, and then there was some major kind of, spoiler alert, there was major flirtation between one of the female robots and what I assume is a female pony, and I'm like, is this awakening something in me? I don't know. But it was still delightful. I don't know. I'm really surprised. I know you're laughing at me because I'm normally like, I don't buy that stuff, but I loved it.
No. You're just saying, did the pony on robot awaken something in you?
Yeah. I don't know how Transformer pony sex would work, but between 2 females, I don't know.
Yo,
figure out
what's up.
Hello. It's a 4-issue limited series, so I know I'm going to pick up every issue.
I wanted to shout out Dan Piercy for a minute, Dan Piercy's Comics, because he always has me hunting for beer that he shows on Instagram.
Ooh.
He is a beer connoisseur.
My Little Pony and Transformers Love Child would be epic. Speculation alert. I'm not even in it for the speculation. I'm here for the wild ass ride. I may get a little tipsy later today. I'm not already tipsy, I promise you. But I may read it again under the influence. Who knows? Because I'm an adult, and that's how I live my life. I would recommend sober me reading it on lunch today. Would recommend it like 8 out of 10. Who knows what inebriated, intoxicated would.
Speaking about speculation, nice segue.
Yeah.
I walked into the shop and I triggered my comic shop owner.
Yeah.
Customer put this back on the shelf, so of course I saw it and scooped it out of the corner of my eye. Wow, I've never seen speculation over a book as fucking basic as this. Oh wait, the punchline stuff happened.
But you're the joke. Anyone getting it is the joke, and she's the punchline, Dan.
And eBay's the punchline.
Yeah. And I don't know, eBay, I think maybe eBay's the joke and the profit margin is the punchline. I really don't know.
Well, when you start with the Batman Who Laughs brain being put into Dr. Manhattan, they Bruce Wayne Dr. Manhattan from another universe, and then you middle with basically it reminded me of that Macaulay Culkin movie, The Good Son.
Never
and that's
watched
basically
it.
the Robin King. You get this book.
And this is a one shot, right? Like
yes.
There's yeah.
This is actually the book that Warren Ellis was kicked off of.
Oh.
They removed him from. So I kind of started doing the math of, all right, who got booted and put in like yeah.
That's kind of tough because if you think about the timeline of everything that came out about Warren Ellis, they probably still used a lot of his material
and just changed names.
And just changed a couple of things. That's what I would imagine it. Because I would think at this point the
still
book had already
paid.
been I would think that the book would have already been drawn, not necessarily in production, but with everything that's happened in the last month, if they were going to completely redo it. So I don't know. Who knows?
Thank you, Rod.
Hey, Rod, I hope you had a really good weekend with your wifey and her birthday. Yeah. So
yes.
what did you actually like read it? Are you
I did. I read the whole thing because I have extra copies coming, but I read the digital.
Yeah.
Thanks to Andrew and his comic book campaign box, I secured copies of this and have the chance of the 1 in 25s.
Very nice.
That is a little quick subtext promotion for his boxes. He also has the September ones up, which you have a chance at the 125 Peach Momoko cover.
Which I feel like anything linked to Peach Momoko is just, it's fire. It's whether you are just an enjoyer of her art, or whether you're you flip the books, whatever. I think anything you get from her is going to be a great investment.
See, for me, I like her art a lot, so I usually keep it for my personal collection unless it goes of course, I have a number attached to every book I buy saying, if it happens to hit this number, I have to sell it.
Yeah.
I call that responsible collecting. Yeah. Your next book.
So my next book, let me actually, I'm going to phone a friend here really, or not like phone a friend, but I'm going to go back into this. Okay, I know what it is now. I had to think about it for a second. I apologize. So my other pick for the week was Coffin Bound. So Coffin Bound 5 came out, and the first volume, which I keep forgetting was only 4 issues because it was such a wacky and wild ride. So the first volume came out, 4 months ago, kind of like right when quarantine started happening. And then issue 5 just came out this week. And I don't know if it's like a new arc, but I read it on my lunch break, once again, completely sober. And I was like, wait, what's going on? So I know that I need to go back and I need to reread what happened in volume 1 of Coffin Bound, but I love this story. I absolutely loved the first 4 issues. Loved Coffin Bound. Seriously, to me, the art and the wacky, wild ride of this story, Coffin Bound was one of my favorite books. I think it'll be one of my favorite books so far from this year.
I read it. I had no idea what was going on.
What, you read this
issue? Yes.
Yeah, that's how, I mean, I know that you were kind of like meh about volume 1, the first 4 issues, and I could see if you were meh about the first 4 issues and then getting this, but I still had no clue what was going on, but I still enjoyed it more than Mercy. I feel like
there was a lot of Earth Eater in it, so that made me happy because, you know, eating soil sandwiches.
I would actually, you know, when I was watching the Earth Eaters, or when I was reading and the Earth Eater came up, I was actually, there was a couple moments where I'm like, this would be a really fun Netflix show. Like, I feel like that's almost always my, like, filter for things now is, do I see this being a good adaptation? Like, I would love to see Earth Eater on screen. So, I love your shirt. I know you're flush, and I am flush in Walking Dead t-shirts. I'm a really big fan, and I did the math. And I own more Walking Dead t-shirts than I own Saga t-shirts now. So if that tells you anything about my fandom, I fucking love Walking Dead.
So, what are you giving this book? Like, I know your scale, yeah.
I know last week, I forget what book it was, but you had finished the arc and you're like, okay, I need to go back and reread what was going on.
Black Magic.
Black Magic. And you were kind of like meh on it just because of that. I'm kind of feeling the same way.
I did read Bad Mother.
I didn't read Bad. See, I only got my 3 that I'm talking about.
It was fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Characters that are hard to love.
You know, I feel like anytime you describe that, it just gives me PTSD from Rick Remender. It's not
even like Remender kind of
post-traumatic Rick Remender disorder. PTRD.
They're not like Remender characters at all. Like, this is like family drama shit where you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole different kind of like broken character stuff.
So I going back to Coffin Bound, I feel like I loved the first volume so much. I feel like this is going to be a new arc. So I'm just really excited to see where it goes. I'm an eternal optimist. I try really hard not to shit on things except for like a handful of things, which I like just diarrhea on. So I really enjoyed Coffin Bound. I'm still going to give it a 7.5, 8, because I know that I'm just going to be in it for the ride.
I need to give it like one solid, like long read together I think that hurt because Coffin Bound, it felt like it's been a while since it came out.
Like I said, I think it came out in either like February or March. Like the first volume came out at the beginning of this year. So the single issues were coming through last year. Because I remember picking that up from the comic shop that I worked at back in Florida, and that would have been pre-October, pre-November since I moved. But like I said, solid 7.5 out of 10. What side are you on? What's your pick?
You're the other way. The hand with your drink in it would have to go that. Yes.
There you go.
Good going.
Sponsored by Truly.
Well, you're still on that basic bitch shit, huh?
I really am, because I really don't like the taste of beer. I prefer hard liquor. That is like, I love whiskey. I love gin. I love me some Sambuca because it tastes like black licorice, and I'm an old lady and I love black licorice. But these are a lot more accessible. I can pick these up at the grocery store as opposed to having to go to a separate liquor store to get all that other stuff. So
believe me, once that hour with Rodney Barnes is up and my anxiety is at like an 11, I will be pulling out my scotch on the second half of the show and pouring it out.
Yeah, for sure. So for anyone who doesn't know, Rodney Barnes is going to be on our show next Sunday
the 16th at 9 p.m.
We're going to do Philadelphia Book Club. So if anyone else wants to read Philadelphia, be in a chat when we're talking to Rodney Barnes and actually see Dan and I on our best behavior, but also acting really more awkward and nervous. You know,
we got him for an hour, so he'll be here at the top of the show, and he has a hard out after an hour that his assistant made me promise to be on.
I would say we pay by the hour, but we're not really paying anything. I was going to make a really bad hooker joke and be like, don't kiss him on the lips. These are the kind of jokes you won't find when he's on the show. Because like I said, we're going to be on our best behavior. You got to subscribe to this show for the regularly just other content. So I just got
John.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
gonna dig it, man. At $9.99, what are you wasting? Like,
I've spent more money on dumber shit, like on a daily basis in my life, it seems like at this point. So,
and please, if you read it, come in the chat. We'll get some of your questions
yeah.
asked.
Mhm.
This dude's IMDb is fucking insane. He worked on Blade with Wesley Snipes and all kinds of other movies, like even like guilty pleasure movies that I love, like Major Payne. Very in with the way he worked on the Boondocks too as well. He's
Yeah.
writing for American Gods. He wrote on the Wu-Tang biopic. Like, I could spend an hour on his IMDb and I can't.
So don't spend that hour just going through his IMDb when he's on the show. We'll talk about other stuff.
So
yeah, your next pick.
My next book, I always complain a lot about the end. Shut up.
I was gonna say, what is it? Tom King.
Mercy. No.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, about endings not landing for me on books.
Yeah.
Not with Heathen. Heathen fucking hit everything I needed.
I haven't.
I'm not spoiling.
Okay, no spoilers. Okay.
Solid like 8.5 to 9 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wrapped everything up in a nice bow. Not cleanly, but not messy.
Mm-hmm.
But you got some emotional moments. It really took everything over the series and just gave a satisfying ending, which I like closed the book. I was like, awesome.
And so this would end like an arc for like a third volume, because there's 2.
Series is over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this would like end.
Yeah.
There's 2 volumes out already, and so this would be like the end of the third and the end of the series. Got it. That's definitely. I wish that I had hopped on reading Heathen earlier. I'm really missed out on that series, and now I feel like I'm eyeballing Vault Comics just as much as I eyeball Image Comics and see what they've got coming out. I've been meaning to get on Heathen. Now I feel like you really do. Seriously, like the first 2 volumes were so good. It's queer, but it's not. It doesn't do the.
It doesn't slam you over the head with it.
Well, not even that. I don't mind being. I feel like there are moments where it definitely like there's like lots of gratuitous nudity that I'm totally into. Like that's.
I should say it doesn't feel like it's trying to teach you a lesson. Every issue, like I don't feel like that. Like sometimes where it's just like, okay, I get it. Like just move the story along. Where it feels like it's making the story just like grind to a halt.
Yeah. I feel like it's also like a lot of times when there's queer stories, there's just a ton of tragedy. And like, I'm not going to lie, like there's tragedy in this, and that's kind of what spurs her hero's journey, her hero's quest.
Yeah.
However, I feel like it does it in a really redeeming way. There's so many moments where it's wholesome and it's beautiful, but at the same time, there's so much TNA that is just.
Hello, TK's Batcave.
Hello. So I love Heathen. I absolutely love Heathen.
Your next book.
Alrighty, so my next book is issue number 4 of King of Nowhere. I feel bad because I don't have my physical copies, because normally I'd be like issue 4, but I don't have issue 4 in front of me. King of Nowhere is written by Maxwell Prince, who's also doing Ice Cream Man. That, like, seriously, I'm still only on volume 1, and I don't know why, because Ice Cream Man was absolutely fantastic. I've heard nothing but great things. So
it's gotten better.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. So I went ahead and King of Nowhere, which is written by him and published by Boom Studios. There's another Maxwell Prince story that I can't think of off the top of my head that's being published, and I feel like everything that he's doing, like, he's really dipping into so many different genres, and he has a really interesting writing style where things get a little bit weird, but it's not like you know, with Jonathan Hickman, it's like, oh yeah, so Alienated by Simon Spurrier, yes, have really enjoyed it. And I feel like kind of thinking about Boom, because right now they're doing Something is Killing the Children and Once and Future. And I feel like compared to those stories, King of Nowhere isn't going to reach that wide audience for, like, you know, those other stories, because I feel like it's just weird. It's not, I wouldn't even say it's sci-fi. However, when I first talked about how issues like 1 through 3, I'm like, I have no clue what's going on, but it's delightful, and I like the characters, and I'm following the characters, and I like these stories. And then issue number 4 that came out this week really got somewhere. And up to this point, you didn't really know what was going on, but with this one, it finally tells you why things are the way they are. And I feel like we've heard this scenario before. I don't want to, it's a like post-apocalyptic kind of scenario, but not really. And even though I feel like I have post-apocalyptic scenario fatigue, this one was really good, and I love the wacky weirdness of it. So once again, all of the ones I've rated today, 8 out of 10.
King of Nowhere is one of those books where I always feel like I have to go back and read the other issues, because I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah. And so I don't know if you got a chance to read issue number 4, but
I did, and I don't understand what the hell was going on. I need to like go back and read everything.
I like this issue because there were some moments where you're like, wait, have I met that character before and didn't know it? But the scenario that it gives you that builds up into, like I said, why things are the way they are, it's weird, it's wacky. I don't think that it's going to be one of those books that's going to be like the next saga or anything like that, but it's still really good. And I like the artwork that reminds me of Sweet Tooth. Like, I would say if you liked Sweet Tooth, check out King of Nowhere.
It's actually a good comparison. I wouldn't have thought of Sweet Tooth, but you might be right on that.
I would almost say, and the reason why is because the artwork does remind me of Jeff Lemire's artwork in a way, but and the story, not necessarily similar, but I feel like you would like the whimsicalness, whatever the fuck. You know, I just enjoy that. So your next pick.
Staying on the weird, Ice Cream Man number 20. The B cover, the Cat in the Hat cover, jumped from $10 to $20 on the spec market. And I don't think it's spec, it's a cool ass cover.
It is. And I wouldn't be surprised if like when I saw it, I'm like, how did they get away with, like, clearly this is a Dr. Seuss cover, so I don't know how they got away with it, but they may have some good lawyers. So
it gets better inside. The Ice Cream Man.
That's what she said.
The Ice Cream Man is reading good night stories to these kids, and they're all wearing the Ice Cream Man outfits. Also, there is what you'd think would be a wife, and she's cutting carrots, and she's dripping blood on them. The first one is called Good Night You, not Good Night Moon.
Yeah.
And in it, there's a picture of a woman heating up a spoon. There are 3 bears that are in chairs that are all nodding off and dead.
For anyone who doesn't know about Ice Cream Man, it's like this Twilight Zone of, I would almost say, Twilight Zone Black Mirror meets Euphoria. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it, but it gets dark, and there's some very mature content, not necessarily like sexually mature content in it, but like drug overdoses is literally like one of the first things you see in volume 1.
An old woman in a wheelchair with a suicide note.
Heavy subjects.
Yeah. And he's still telling stories. The mother comes in, she's wearing an Ice Cream Man outfit as well, and she's like crying. And she's like, "Where's Gary?" He goes, No, there's no Gary here. Then there is the Loving Tree.
Oh, is this supposed to be like the giving tree?
The Giving Tree.
I see, I feel like You Ruined My Childhood gets thrown out a lot, but I feel like that would be one of the things, that was like one of the books that I remember being read as a kid. So I don't know if I could go to that one, and I don't know, that's tough. I don't want my childhood ruined. My adulthood is already ruined, man.
They're all very dark stories where it's the kids like, I have an emptiness in me I can't fill, so I'm burning down this tree.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, definitely Tales of Crypt vibes. That's a good one.
My favorite is the Dr. Seuss one by Dr. Sweet called Weed Laced with Coke.
Because why not?
And they're trying to get this guy to smoke weed laced with Coke.
That is not how drugs work, people. I mean, like, maybe for someone, but no one's like, hey, you want to try this way? Like, that's kind of expensive. You don't want to babysit someone.
This book, like, is so dark, humorously weird. It literally hits, like, every fucked up bone in my body. 9 out of 10. Like, I just...
Okay.
Reading it was an adventure. And, like, I literally laughed out loud at certain parts that I shouldn't have laughed at. That's just me. 100% catch up on this series when you can. Yeah. Like, I love it.
Listen, after doing this 100 books in a month thing that I just did, like, I feel kind of like broken. I'm a lost woman. I'm going through this, like, midlife crisis. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I want to read anymore. I have a pile of books in like a shopping cart from my local bookstore, and I'm like, do I want to buy these? Do I not? And plus, I really need to. These bookshelves behind me are so crappy that I really just need to buy a new bookshelf before I buy any more. A second print Seuss cover has already been solicited. That's awesome.
Second prints always have smaller counts too. So
yeah. And they usually, I would say they almost still always holding up. Like, yeah. Even though most people don't like a second print, they want the first print. But like you said, they smaller count, so they're more rare.
Your go.
So those were my 3.
Okay.
I only did those. No, maybe okay. I did say 4. I don't recall.
Okay, well, I can vamp for a bit because I have a couple other books I read that I kind of want to complain about.
Okay, let's do it. It's
all right.
Complaining hour.
So Empire #4 came out from Marvel.
Oh, I had the first couple issues and I want to read them. Don't break my heart.
This is more about Marvel undercutting themselves.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Why in the hell, before this book comes out, would you go about doing press to ruin the surprises in the book?
You know, I feel like that happens with almost all of them, and I feel like it is a marketing ploy. So they'll be like, "This is just going to pump up interest in the book, and more people are going to run out and buy it."
The weird thing, though, it was so whatever. It was just I kind of knew already because speculators have been hunting Immortal She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So
what did she appear in this?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other surprise near the end was a wedding.
I knew that there was going to be a wedding between.
They had alluded to in one of the specials, the Marvel 100 special.
Yeah.
So not really a surprise. Like it was very whatever, but again, like why undercut yourself?
Yeah.
I can say that about a lot of books. What was the other one? Strange Adventures. Weirdly, another issue that barely had Adam Strange in it. It was very Mr. Terrific centric.
Yeah.
Tom King is kind of diverting the way he normally frameworks his story, where there's a lot going on of covering stuff up. So Alana and maybe her father aren't good people.
That's why I feel like, because what is this issue #3? I feel like that's 4, and I feel like that's kind of what's being alluded to, is that she's not a hero, which I'm kind of okay with, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I wish that the main series was about her, but I don't know. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know.
Sex Criminals came out.
Anything that anyone else, I was going to say in the comments, did anyone else pick up something that we haven't really sponsored by getting Basic Bitch Wasted?
That's called White Girl Wasted.
Well, I didn't want to make it. There's no politics on here. We're not going into the rate. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to call it Basic Bitch. So these are actually
new.
really good. There's no sugar in them. I mean, there's only like 1 gram of sugar or whatever.
The newest issue of Far Sector was awesome.
I haven't read that one either.
Also, Giant Size Phantom X, I really liked.
Is anyone else in the comments, for anyone who's still here, anything that you're reading that either came out this week or maybe even this month that we should be talking about, that we should be reading about? Anything that you think can be piled up for the next coronavirus bathroom dump? White Claws and Truly, like, I'm not a big fan of White Claw. Like, I feel like they're more, I don't know, champagne-y, and I don't really like champagne. Like, they're drier. I'm a connoisseur of hard seltzers and shit. But,
wow.
yeah. I'm actually not. I just, like I said, I haven't been able to get to, like, a real big girl liquor store. So just what I can get from the grocery store right now.
Miss that Florida, you go to your grocery store and get hard liquor.
Yeah, because Publix always has the Publix liquor store next door. But here, and it was the same thing when I lived in South Carolina, is that they can't be connected to the grocery store. They're like separate. So where my grocery store is like half a mile that way, my liquor store is a half a mile that way. And that's just super inconvenient.
Wow.
I can't walk more than a mile.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
That's some first world problems.
Yeah. Hey, I got rid of my car, so I can't, like, I'm not going to walk a mile down the road with some liquor in my hand. Just asking to get jumped, because Portland's on fire right now. Portland is just burning down right now.
Have you been to Florida?
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about how everyone's like, Antifa's burning down the city. And I'm like, I live here, people. It's not. I assure you.
That's just tear gas everywhere.
Tear gas everywhere. Just, fucking with your monthly cycles and stuff. So.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. It can affect those things. So, yeah.
So I'm going to go to the entertainment part of our show, which randomly has entertainment. Yeah. So I'm very conflicted about this whole Mulan going to Disney Plus. So you have to pay your monthly for Disney Plus. On top of that, you have to pay $30 to get. Yeah. Where's your discount? Like $24? Like at least knock that $6 off.
I think that here's the thing, is that going and watching Mulan at home isn't necessarily aimed towards people like you and I. I think it's people with kids who want them to shut up. People who have, 2 or 3 kids, and you want to be able to pay $30 and just hang out at home, have a family night. I mean, what else have we been having for the last 4 months? It's been all like family at home nights. I'd pay $30 to have someone take my kids. I don't know, whatever. That's just me mocking straight
100% profit for Disney.
Exactly. And so I don't know. Not necessarily that I feel bad that theaters all of a sudden don't have access to it, because I have a hard time sympathizing someone who charges me like $7 for a bottle of water and $7 for a thing of popcorn and like $5 for a bag of candy. So I understand they need profit margins. That's where they make their money and not necessarily the movie. However, I truly think that $30 to go see a movie is going to be vastly, wildly cheaper for a nuclear family that has multiple kids. So,
also in the news, actually 2, I guess, that kind of are in our sphere. Nia DaCosta, the director of
Candyman.
New Candyman movie, which we haven't seen, was awarded with Captain Marvel 2.
I know that a lot of people shit on the Captain Marvel movie, and I'm not going to get into why I kind of think that's BS. But yeah.
Oh, people have capture cards. It will be out there quick.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to count on all you pirates to give me the Dune trailer. So, and don't try to hustle me with sending me a picture of a trailer that says Dune on it And don't hustle me with the trailer for the old movie and the old show, or like, a fan-made trailer. Don't hustle me with that stuff. I want the real thing. I feel like, what's his name from Spider-Man? Like, I want pictures of Spider-Man on my desk.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. I need the Dune trailer. So that's me. That's my impression. So anyways, that's me. I'm counting on all you pirates whenever the Dune trailer comes out to hook a girl up. But I really enjoyed Captain Marvel, but I think that it's time for movies like that. And even if you thought that Captain Marvel was a shitty movie, you know how many male-led shitty superhero movies I have seen? Thor 2, I'm looking at you right in the eye. And no one's like, Thor's such a shitty character. But, we get so many like male superhero-led movies, and they can be fantastically shitty, but you have shitty female-led movies, and people are like, this is why we can't have female-led superhero movies, is because they're all shitty. Well, duh, that's because there's all 5 of them. Okay. Thank you for joining my rant just now. As exchange. Oh, can you put that back up? For reading the unwritten, I'll get you the... Thank you, Melcher.
Counting on people in Thailand.
Yeah. So I know we're talking a little bit about entertainment right now, and I just have to talk about a show that I watched, and I have a thing. I don't know if it's a thing. I don't know. During the quarantine, one of my favorite shows that I binged watched was My 600-Pound Life. So if you know the high standard, the high bar of what it takes to just entertain me for a couple months, that's it. So I do enjoy those. Just, I have such low expectations of like that fake reality TV show that's just scripted and whatever. But that being said, on Netflix, I watched Love on the Spectrum, and it is about people with autism finding love, and it fucking wrecked me. It was so good. It chronicles several different people who are on the autism spectrum. Had an alien cat, and I was there for it. The Flurkin.
The Flurkin.
Yeah. So Love on the Spectrum is about people who are on the autism spectrum with different ranging and abilities, and some of them are coupled already, some of them are looking to get coupled, and it was just so beautiful, and it was so heartwarming, and there's all of like 5 or 6 episodes, and I need 10 more seasons of this because it was so delightful. It was so delightful. This isn't me being ironic, but it blessed my heart. I'm #blessed. #blessed from watching Love on the Spectrum. Please watch it because it's adorable, and if enough people watch it, maybe I can get a 2nd season. Who knows?
Something that is near and dear to us. I don't know if you read that article about Denis Villeneuve, about him doing the reshoots.
Yeah.
That he's unsure if he'll even be finished in time for the release. It's going to be very much long nights.
I'm over it. 2020 is over, man.
It's nice to hear that he's working on it, and I don't know what the hell he's tweaking.
I feel like if I had to guess, because we jumped right into coronavirus and doing quarantine and social distancing, and then 2 months later we got a lot of civil unrest over racial injustice. My best guess is that they risked quarantine, social distancing, and all of that to edit things that would seem either, I'm just going to say it, racist. Like there was probably some stuff that someone watched and they're like, you might want to change that. That's a little bit insensitive. So I don't know if they're going to go back and like maybe if originally the Fremen were whitewashed. So I don't know if they'll change that. Maybe we'll actually get to see more of Liet.
The interesting thing, I did see I
I agree, because I think that his legacy for the Dune movie,
It's a cash grab.
yeah, and just I think it was what it was what it was for the time, right? And I keep making I make this comparison to Avatar all the time, where the themes and the sci-fi-ness of it couldn't have been done with the technology back then. That being said, I wish that we did get to see Alejandro Jodorowsky's version of it a little bit, because that would have just been an LSD practical effect wonderland. And I think just to hear the wild stories on set, if Alejandro Jodorowsky had done it, I think that would have been fantastic if he had been able to do the Dune movie.
Oh, I would totally watch an animated version of it too. If given the choice.
That would be fun.
Also, I watched this 4-hour documentary called In Search of Darkness. It was all about 80s horror.
Yeah.
I've watched it twice now.
Oh shit, that's 8 hours of your life. I guess you are
I'm on vacation
right now. Yeah.
I was reading, so I left it on the background. Tom Atkins is so great doing like little commentary on it. The most amazing thing, though, is when they get to Stephen King on Maximum Overdrive. Every
Coked
person,
out.
Oh yeah, they said that movie is basically directed on coke, and
Written on coke.
Yeah, like
all of
Stephen,
it. All
Stephen King was
above.
out of his mind. And then on
For
Creepshow,
sure.
I did not know the kid Tom Atkins hits in the beginning of the movie, the son, it's Joe Hill.
No wonder why. Sorry. I feel like anything that Joe Hill has written hasn't landed for me yet. So I don't know. And that's probably because I've read bits and pieces of a lot of things. So I'm like, oh, so that's what's wrong with Joe Hill. But then I'm like, oh, his dad.
The weird part is, like, Tom Atkins is like, so there's his dad coked out in the room waiting to see if I actually hit his son. We finish up and he's like, so what was it like making out with Jamie Lee Curtis in The Fog? Like, that was what he had to talk to him about. Like, just weird stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, fascinating documentary. And like, it was a Kickstarter type thing that was kind of insanely expensive. And the fact that Shudder got it was just amazing. And
yeah. I feel like
Joe Bob Briggs is in it and Darcy the Mail Girl.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like Shudder is, in a way, it's underrated, but at the same time, I'm struggling justifying it, because I need more new stuff more often. Like, if you're really going to be like the Netflix of horror, essentially, and for what I pay for the subscription, I just wish that there was a lot more new stuff on it.
They did drop a bunch of original movies.
I did watch, like, months and months and months ago. I think it was one of like the first episodes we did, but I watched this really weird, like, R-rated movie called Dogs Don't Wear Pants. And for anyone who just wants a delightful, like, part of me wants to call it like a dominatrix love story that's just beautiful. I watched it and I loved it. It's about a guy who his wife dies and then gets in his teenage daughter goes and gets a nose piercing, and he, like, by chance meets a dominatrix who then sweeps him off his feet, essentially, by
like Pretty Woman, but
yeah, like Pretty Woman, but in reverse, maybe, I don't know. And she basically, like, asphyxiates him a lot of the times. There is a little bit of I would say, I don't know, I have some trouble with the movie because there are some things that they leave out about that lifestyle that are pretty big that you need. Like, you know, for anyone who knows about it, like, there's not really a lot of aftercare after their scenes and stuff like that. I won't get into that right now. Send me a private DM and we'll talk about it. You can subscribe to my OnlyFans where I give you pictures of uncensored pictures of Dr. Manhattan. And we'll talk about it there. So anyways, Dogs Don't Wear Pants on Shudder isn't necessarily a horror movie, so I'd like Shudder to do more stuff like that. But that's my wheelhouse.
They actually have a live streaming horror movie called Host.
Oh.
That just popped on. A couple other new originals that hadn't been released or new to them. Again, like big movie content isn't out there, so Shudder can probably scoop up this smaller content now since stuff doesn't have a chance to go to the movies now.
I would almost like to see Shudder do something with not like fan-made films, but low-budget stuff that would be like in a city's film festival. Like, I would love to see them do stuff like that. I think that would be a way for creators who are feeling the pinch not getting film festivals. I think that'd be a cool way for Shudder to come in. Like, if it was, I don't even know how much the subscription for Shudder is. Like, what, $7.99? $6. So if it was like $6.99 or $7.99 for Shudder, and they're like, okay, for $9.99 you now get access to all of these like creator-owned things. I'd be like, okay, that's worth it.
Right now, the documentaries I think are where they like kind of are winning out.
Yeah, I feel like documentaries are my safe space. I'm watching a documentary right now, and it's like a documentary show. Like, they had one on privacy and basically how, like, at one point Tinder gave everyone desirability scores, and so if I don't know how Tinder works, I'm not on any dating. So like, if no comment. But if like you swipe left on I don't know, whatever, you swipe yes on someone and it's someone who is like very attractive and they also swipe left on you, whatever it is, then your desirability score goes up. So anyways, this show, this documentary series goes into how Tinder knows all of this about you. And this one woman went into it and requested all of her information, and they basically sent her all of these private messages that she had sent to. And she's like, they really know when you're most vulnerable. It was New Year's Eve and I didn't have anyone. And she was like, so Tinder, when I downloaded all my stuff, I realized that I was talking to 15 people at once on a night that I was very lonely and vulnerable. And she's like, that's so weird for sites and apps to be able to use that against you, for you, whatever. So anyways, it goes into just weird and wacky stuff. And it went on one about numbers and how the IRS can tell when you're cheating on your taxes. I like weird stuff like that. Like, weird science shit gets me off. So
looking ahead at next week's releases, we have Adventure Man #3.
Which Adventure Man has been so solid and so good. When I first heard Adventure Man, I'm like, I don't need another like dude bro story, but it's actually really good. I really enjoy it. Tinder works like a big mess where you kind of talk to some people and maybe make a friend, but also maybe bone someone, but mostly just swiping. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I don't know. I'm 100% afraid of dating, so yeah.
That makes two of us. Yeah. The Excellence #9 comes out.
And Excellence has 100% been super solid.
I don't know, you're all into My Little Pony now. Friendship is Magic, issue 89 comes out.
I'm probably not going to read my Friendship is Magic, but I'm going to do the Transformers because it's only a four-issue limited series, so it's extremely low, I don't know, risk, high reward because it's delightful.
Gotcha. From Marvel, Amazing Spider-Man #46, stuff you don't read.
No.
Captain Marvel 19, which introduced her sister, Lori L.
Oh.
Which I was like, oh, please tell me that's not like some weird, like, the hair product L'Oreal. I was just like, no, please, no.
Yeah.
I really Empire number 5 of 6, which just cranking it right out every week.
I'm almost okay with that, with it coming out every week, because I think it keeps it fast paced. Granted, there's a lot of other like spin-offs and stuff, but
and then Empire Avengers, Empire Captain America, Empire X-Men, Empire blah blah blah. Ghost Spider number 9. People are gonna grind on that because it's back to being Gwenom. Because Gwen has to be always something else, like Spider-Gwen, Gwenom.
And Venom. Venom has to be something. But I guess that's Venom, but whatever.
But she's Gwen.
I did, one of the things that I picked up that I actually really loved was I picked up a variant, and it was Gwendula. It was Gwen Stacy Angela. And I'm like, I think I picked it up for like $7, and yeah.
Immortal Hulk, I really like that series. Number 36 comes out. Marauders number 11. I really liked Marauders, but I'm a Kitty Pryde fan, so like.
So is this the end of an issue? Like a volume 2 collected
for Marauders?
Yeah,
I feel like it's getting. I think it's either every 5 issues or every 6 issues.
Got it. Because at this point, like, I know that there's going to be another new one coming out, like a tarot series.
A 10 of Swords, yeah.
10 of Swords. They're doing like an iPhone thing, like it's an iPhone 10 because Roman numerals.
Immortal Hulk's been a great series. Like, it just every issue is kind of something new. Star Wars Darth Vader number 4 comes out. I've been kind of digging it. It has Padme's handmaidens, her duplicates, one of them with a bunch of the other Naboo people, and they're hunting for her killer. So not knowing that Anakin and Vader are the same person, they're assuming Vader killed.
Spoiler alert.
Well, mentally, maybe they're not the same person. We also have Venom number 27. Everything Donny Cates has just gone up and up and up.
Of course.
X-Force number 11. A company that we don't talk about, although I do have to talk about it for a minute because...
Are we talking about D-Money?
Yeah, because Gambit is in that card set for Red Sonja for that company. He's already been paid months ago for it, so
maybe
got at least
get the card set. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get some comps from them and
maybe
he can sell them.
From Boom Studios, Alienated number 5 comes out.
Yup.
Faithless 2 number 2 second printing. I know how much of a fan you are of that series.
Here's the thing. Hold up. I liked Faithless, but I feel like it got super creepy pervy in a non-fun way. Like, not in the way that like safe sex was kind of pervy, but in just a way where it feels like if Brian Azzarello was writing Sunstone. Does that make sense? Does that make sense though? I
get what you're throwing there.
Yeah, because Sunstone, I went in and I'm like, man, this is just going to be some like Step and Sedgwick, whatever his name is, just some like lesbian bondage scissoring fan fiction, and Sunstone's actually adorable and I love it. But
yes, X-Force's Ben Percy, who Devil's Highway pickup number 1. It's awesome. If anybody watching this hasn't been, that was a fucking great book. Something is Killing the Children number 9 comes out.
And Boom Studios is actually selling the face mask now.
I ordered one.
Oh, you did? I was like, I didn't know if like, because you already got one from Jillian.
It's lighter fabric.
Yeah.
That one she sent me, it's very heavy.
Yeah, I got a couple like other ones that she made, and I like it, but if I have to wear it to the store and that's like an hour, it's fine. But if I'm wearing it at work 8 hours a day, however, when it starts to get cold here, that is going to be the one that I wear. Peter Milligan vibes from Faithless at first, but it kind of lost me. Yeah. It's still on my pull list. I might
I have no idea what odd moment you might have logged in, but
log in. I'm really, I'm curious. What were we referencing? Because I feel like it's all odd moments. Like it could be, I was talking about like weird dominatrix stuff earlier and, Dr. Manhattan's Big Blue Wang. It's all weird moments here, people.
the Something the Killing Children 9, it has a 1 in 25 variant by Christian Ward.
Okay.
Erica's handler.
Yeah. I love Christian Ward. He
lesbian bondage scissoring.
Yeah.
So
that was the weird word. Yeah, so you probably just like weird lesbian bondage. Yeah, that's typical. That's typical. But thank you for joining us. I'm glad that you're still here and you didn't immediately leave during that. I appreciate your faith in us, that you are not faithless. Do you see what I did there? Because you're the joke, and that was the punchline.
Devil's Highway #2 comes out. Very excited for that. It's better than it should have been, in my opinion.
What was that one? Devil's Highway?
Devil's Highway, yeah, because like the cover just brought me in. Like, let's see, anything else weird? Well, not weird, but in the indies.
I feel like not a lot's coming out with Vault recently.
No, but looking at the kind of how landscape of the comics is now, it's kind of good that they're being selective of what is and isn't coming out.
Yeah, but that's not good for me because, like I said earlier,
God, I'm sad that it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, because like I said, like I'm eyeing Vault just as much as I'm eyeing Image, I feel like, and I also feel like Scout has been doing, and I'm not saying that just because I used to live near Fort Myers where they're published, and I like have met some of the people and have been into their headquarters. Like they're all super nice people, and the stuff that they're producing I really, really enjoy. Finger Guns, yeah. Number 4 came out this week?
Yes.
Or next week, yeah. I haven't picked that one up yet.
From DC, it's very Batman heavy. Batman and the Outsiders, Batman's Grave #9 of 12. They're still going to finish the series.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But even though, is Warren Ellis being attached to that still? Or?
He is still in the solicits.
I did hear, and I mean, I have such a weird feeling towards it, but I heard that he also is off any upcoming Castlevania stuff.
Yep, he's off. He's out of it. So the writer's room basically will be taking over without him. But I mean, I feel like they had stuff outlined already.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last season.
Yeah, agreed.
Dark Knight's Death Metal #3. It's going to be a Robin King heavy issue, so just putting it out there spec-wise, the Riccardo Federici cover with him focused on it, and the Art Germ Supergirl covers are the two, in my opinion, to pick up, other than the crazy 1 in 100 black and white variant and the 1 in 25 Doug Menke. Detective Comics number 1025, Liber Mayho cover, of course, because Liber Mayho is awesome. Justice League Odyssey, I kind of still like that.
I feel like you said that like you're so ashamed. Like I still kind of like where I talked about My Little Pony Transformers and how good it was and people should go pick it up. And it's only 4 issues. Go pick up My Little Pony Transformers. Tell them Jennifer sent you.
The Wonder Woman 760 has a Joshua Middleton cardstock variant that is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing else really besides that. Not a heavy week, but enough that I'll have picks for next week, which I'm off Thursday, so we can do Thursday.
Beautiful. I work till 5, so it may have to be like 6:30 next week.
That's
but
fine.
Yeah.
Any other hot button topics you want to hit?
The only other thing that I could think of was just you said that there's a Paul Pope cover for the Dune comic
Yes.
book adaptation, which sorry, there's a cat situation right here, and he's the best.
Yeah, Midtown didn't have what the ratio was or how much they're pre-charging for it, so I was trying to get an idea of what the ratio was. I figure 1 in 25 since I think it's Boom.
Okay, that would make sense. I feel like some comic shops are very sometimes they will make you buy like all 25 or do something like that in order for them to get them, but thank you. My Little Pony Transformers, like, I'm not sure what your wheelhouse of stuff is. It's definitely not usually in my wheelhouse. But it was aggressively adorable.
You just want that robot pony love.
I really do. I'm already like making slash fic.
I also was weird seeing everybody on social media today posting pictures with that Twilight book.
Oh yeah, I saw Sydney post that, and I'm just like, wait, what? What's going on? But Twilight's just not on my radar, so I'm sorry.
No, I was just like,
but I'm not sorry.
People are still into it, and I was just kind of like, wow, like.
The one redeeming thing that I have to say about Twilight is that this soundtrack was too good. The soundtrack was too good for those movies. It was like Pete Bjorn and yeah.
Pete Yorn or Pete?
Isn't it Pete Bjorn? I don't know. Or wait, no. I'm thinking it's another white dude in a lead of a band. Tom York, maybe. I don't know.
Tom York from Radiohead.
Yeah. So maybe it was Tom York. So anyways, yeah.
Does it sparkle?
Maybe. But seriously, like if you're into that like weird early 2000s like alternative music, it's a decent soundtrack. So
there are a bunch of movies that have like better soundtracks than they deserve. Like that could be an episode at some time, because there was that Wayans Brothers movie called Senseless that, like, as far as EDM goes, had like a great soundtrack that I was just like, oh, this is really good. Like, this is fantastic.
I would also say Garden State as a movie hasn't aged well. However, I feel like that soundtrack is a time capsule.
That had a very good soundtrack to it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, that's like the one thing I remember from it.
I forgot that. Yeah, that Paramore song. I forgot about that one. Like every now and again, it comes up on Pandora. Now that really.
Wow. You got to remind me who did the soundtrack for that. Was it?
Well, it wasn't Hans Zimmer, I can tell you that, but I think he's doing the new one.
Yeah. I would say whoever did the Blade Runner soundtrack. Well, Vangelis did the original Blade Runner, right? I can't recall.
It was Vangelis.
The new one, I don't think that they did, but because I live like right next to a busy highway and I hear cars all the time, the only way I survive is by thinking that I'm in Blade Runner. So I'm always listening to the Blade Runner soundtrack. Best moment in comics last week was a Transformer pulling out a huge gun to fight. And so like the Transformer had a separate gun, like instead of like a body part. Hey dude, what you doing?
Soundtrack.
So Dune 2049. Dude, seriously?
I know, like...
He's out of control. This is the Portland Police Bureau.
I mean, Grimes did that.
This has been declared a riot.
Getty Prime album that nobody knew about.
Yeah, I know. Like, I like Grimes.
Brian Eno.
Okay. Got it.
Not quite Pink Floyd, but...
No, but still.
Blade Runner 2049. I mean, it wasn't like Tron where they had...
Daft Punk?
Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Part where I start looking at freaking IMDb.
Yeah. go
Oh,
down that.
2049 was Hans Zimmer.
Okay.
With a lot of songs by Benjamin Wallfish.
Oh,
Not
good
quite,
to know.
Not quite Vangelis, but
I know you said that we should probably do like a movie soundtrack themed show, but while I'm thinking about it, I really just want to shout out the Mandy soundtrack. Like at the beginning of quarantine, that was my jam. If that told you how I wanted to head first, deep dive into quarantine, I'm like, let me listen to the Mandy soundtrack. So
Gross Point Blank soundtrack, just for all of the great 80s alternative jams on it, was fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody in the chat got anything they want to talk about? Hit us up now before we end.
Yeah.
We're nearing the finish line on this.
We got to practice keeping it to an hour before Rodney Barnes gets here.
Oh, we're going to go way over because I know we're going to want to talk about stuff after he's off the air and get back to normal.
We can talk trash behind his back. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
I just imagine like he'll exit and we'll all just go, whoo, and then let out all the curse
That's
words.
when the bottle of alcohol comes out.
Yeah. Is that a bitch planet it is. If I don't know if it looks backwards to you.
No,
anyone who it looks fine. Okay, so funny story, when Irma hit Florida, and I lived in South Florida at the time, I was without power for 2 weeks, and my tattoo artist Dawn posted something on Facebook and was like, hey, if anyone wants to hang out at the shop, like I've got air conditioning and you can plug your phone in. And I'm like, oh, I'll drive like 45 minutes away to go do that. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm here. Might as well go ahead and get a tattoo. So I call it my hurricane tattoo. Most people who don't know Bitch Planet just think it stands for North Carolina. And I did live in South Carolina for a while, but I fucking hate South Carolina. I also, on the same arm, I have a tank girl tattoo on the back here, and it's based on a patch that the artist did, and it's Jesus Christ, I'll get this one day. But it says Tank Girl tea making division, so because I love tea.
So
yeah.
Mandy was wackadoo, and I gotta say, like Nicolas Cage, that role fit him perfectly.
Perfect, and I was not a Nicolas Cage believer. And then I saw that movie, and man, I will watch like almost any movie he's in now.
What was the other movie that came out?
The Color Out of Space.
Color Out of Space, yeah.
Yeah. There was another one that I think that he was in semi recently, but whatever.
Gross Point Blank, great movie. And since we're showing tattoos, I have my Maria from Deadly Class that Gambit did. Because I have to show all my love for all things Remender. Yeah, I got the low one on my back. That and Debbie Decay from Tokyo Ghost. All the stuff you hate.
Yeah. I'm not even going to get into that right now. I'm like out of alcohol, so.
But you had a moment with Sean Gordon Murphy, so you have that.
I did have a moment with Sean Gordon Murphy where we did the Cosmos Carl Sagan whale sounds where we both just went whoop.
Apparently he's still on Instagram. I should have tagged him in that video.
You should have. Okay,
I didn't know that till later on because I saw your friends with him on there.
Oh, yeah, because we're friends because we both did the Carl Sagan Cosmos whale sounds together. So, we go back to 2013. You should close out your stream playing the Kaiser Chiefs. I didn't really know that Kaiser Chiefs. Oh my God. Because if you watch the streams from Portland, I have forever etched. This is the Portland Police Bureau. This has been declared a riot. Move east. If you do not disperse, ammunitions will be. And crowd control munitions will be used against you.
And then in Florida, we just have, for God's sakes, just please put on a mask and a shirt.
Yeah. At this point, don't even wear a shirt. Just put on a mask. Like, I don't understand how people don't get it at this point. Wear a mask, and if you do it for no one else, don't do it for yourself. Don't do it for your grandma or your grandpa or whoever. Do it for little ladies like me who are immune compromised, and I could die if I get it. Like, if
So
you want to.
at my work, we had to dip into our employee stash of masks to hand them to customers walking in because they just don't want to listen. And then starting next week, I have to take my temperature before I go into work and fill out a questionnaire. And we also have to take our temperature at the door. They put an infrared system in. So
that's how, I mean, I'm not going to talk about where I work, but I've been doing that since literally March. That's what my company's been doing since March. So, you're kind of behind there.
Yeah, that's Florida. Thanks for coming in, Dan. I really appreciate it.
Peace.
Love
Thank
seeing
you for
your
being
posts.
here.
Yeah, and I will try and catch one of your streams eventually when I'm home. I usually work overnight, so I don't catch a lot of stuff. But if I am home and I catch it, I will jump on. And again, thanks for coming on and saying hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't. Part of it, I think, was they were having trouble getting it and getting people to come in and install.
Mm-hmm.
The second part is I really think they thought that it was going to subside because everybody had theory. Oh, where it's hot, it won't have it. And I was like,
that's because you're
winter yet. Like when every other fucking disease starts kicking in, like it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah, that and like. I think that because a lot of people are going back to school right now, kids and teachers, like we're going to see a huge spike a month after everyone goes back to school. And I think the reason why people thought the heat was going to disperse it is because we're taking advice from people who are like demon semen and having sex with ghosts. I mean, that sounds cool. I know that sounds cool. Why do you make me disagree with demon semen and sex with ghosts? That's totally on brand for me. And
there's an elementary school in Georgia that they already had to send people home.
Like 200 people?
Yes, because already they had 15 people infected in a day.
Yep. Good job, Georgia.
And then you have...
Is it Brian Kemp?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's people that I work with that are like using their COVID time because they gave us extra COVID sick time, like just as the emergency, that are using it on like vacation time so they can go get tattoos.
I have been so tempted. Like I have like a little bit of extra money and I had a little bit of time and I wish that I could have gone and gotten a tattoo so bad. I'm not going to judge anyone for getting a tattoo during quarantine because I know people who did, but
it's faking that you have strep throat and going and doing it.
No, like I don't.
Posting about it on social media.
I would feel so remorse if I knew that I went and did anything like that and got anyone sick. Like thinking about that makes me feel sick to my stomach, even risking it. And I know people in like Florida are going out and going to bars and hanging out and don't give a shit. Well, I mean, they were a month ago.
Yeah.
But, going to the grocery store without a mask. And I'm like, I literally walk to and from work and go to the grocery store and go to the comic book store. And that's it, with a mask on the entire time. And I'm like, I'm being gaslit by you people. But anyways, that's my little fucking soapbox.
There was nobody in my LCS wearing masks except for me when I walked in the other day.
Because of course not, because I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm just too worried about me getting the last copy of Legends of Death Metal.
Yeah.
Because someone put it back on the shelf. Oh yes. Hydroxychloroquine with demon seed and alien DNA.
I would maybe eat those Oreos, but the thing is you got to do it with zinc. That's the key. No, I'm just kidding. Don't get it. It's so funny to me. I know I'm like, we're at the end. I don't know who's.
What would demon seed taste like?
Like candy? I don't know.
Honey. Lemons.
Maybe. Like, you know what? You know who we need to call up? George R. R. Martin, because he is a master at describing how food tastes. I bet you that George R. R. Martin can tell us what demon semen looks like and make us want more.
Oh no, he's in enough trouble for what happened at the Hugos.
What happened at the Hugos?
He was the MC of it.
When was this?
Last week.
And he's not. Okay,
Yeah,
go on.
Go on. Everybody's trying to figure out if purposely or not purposely he was mispronouncing people's names, and then he went on an old man rant about them removing the name of John Campbell, who's kind of like a noted racist misogynist who was on the old award for the Hugos. They removed his name from it, and he went on like a rant about removing him from it, and it was a bunch of like different writers winning this year, where you had a bunch of queer writers and different races winning, and they were like, okay, he went on this old man rant about the racist being removed from it, and now like they have a pronunciation list and the PA table, and he still. So people were kind of like really going in on him.
George, just go the fuck home and finish Winds of Winter.
Yeah, I mean, what's another 10 years?
Yeah.
Actually, what's it been, 7 now?
Maybe.
I don't even remember when the last one.
Yeah, time's an illusion. It's all made up and the points don't matter.
When did Game of Thrones season 1 come out? Because that was when it came out.
Yeah, like 12 years, right? Maybe 11. Yeah.
Let's see what old IMDb. I still haven't bought the last season. I have like this hole on my wall.
Wait, have you watched it or you just haven't bought it?
I haven't bought it because I have every other season. I just keep going, I can't.
I think like at this point, like, I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's trash.
2011.
Okay. Yep.
We're getting there. We're getting to 10 years.
Yeah.
So
already.
It was 10 years in between, I want to say, Dance of Dragons and the mess that was Feast of Crows. So I'm just putting it out there, George. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be it for us. I think we've kind of run, unless anybody in the chat has any last minute stuff they want to talk about. We don't really have anybody left in the chat. We started strong, and then we got off comics, and we just did
whatever.
But still been healthy chat. Again, thank you everybody who joined in. Oregon Weem, I have not seen you on here before, so thank you. Not sure if you found us from Jen's channel or just found us in general, but appreciate you joining in.
Thank you.
And like always, as we always say, and Oregon Weem said it too, wear a mask, wash your damn hands, and eventually your new Apple Watch OS will have the 20-second counter for you to let you know. Oregon Weem's one of your followers. So.
That's me that's how I just wash my hands all willy-nilly.
Do you water first, then lather, or are you a lather and then water? Because I see people do the soap first and then they do that, and I never understood that. But
I feel like it's like whenever I brush my teeth, like I wet my toothbrush first and then put the paste on.
I do too.
And so I feel like that's the same thing. Like I feel like I wet my hands and then soap them, and then
I even do that with my face when I shave and put splash water on it. And that is our hygiene.
The hygiene section.
So we'll be back on next Thursday about 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And watch us squirm on Sunday the 16th at 9 p.m. as we struggle to behave and have our actual first professional on. And
I don't know, Gambit's like, he's a professional.
He actually started sending me hints since he's done panels at Puerto Rico Comic-Con. And he was like, you need to contact him and see what he doesn't want to talk about, because I know you and Jen will end up saying something he doesn't want to talk about.
Look, I promise I'm going to be on my best behavior. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to talk about politics, because I feel like Philadelphia is deeply intrinsically political. But
I have an idea of how to get there.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with what his process and what germinated the story, and I'm sure it's going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figure if, like, just before we start, if there's something he really doesn't want to talk about, he'll do that, and maybe he'll do some research and watch some of our episodes, but I doubt it.
Hopefully not.
He seems like
cancel.
He seems like a very professional guy that, like, anyway, I'm like super excited to talk about it, and just the fact that he said yes, and I got to go back and forth with his assistant Carlos for about 2 hours.
Nice.
Was really nice guy. But I did have that, like, okay, I'm booking him for an hour. You need to watch the time. You need to tell him to leave. And I'm like,
okay.
Fresh. I was like, oh yeah, I'll set a timer. I was like, if he stays over, it's not my fault. I will let him know when the hour is up. But I mean, I actually started writing out questions.
Nice. So we'll be prepared for once.
I'm also, as I do my reread, I'm kind of pulling a Cinia, but I'm putting notes in my iPad of certain scenes in there I want to talk about. Like, I know the Hamilton scene is definitely one I think that you're going to think, so why'd you throw this in? Like, I know what scene I really want to talk a lot about. Cool. When Tevin talks to his grandmother. Because I thought that was such a powerful scene. Although I think the girl and her sister, I think, was one of the ones that you had talked about that you really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you go back to, like, her slave life and everything else.
Yeah.
But all right, we're gonna end this. I know you just got home before you logged in, and
so I gotta go eat. I gotta feed this monster in my belly.
You didn't fill it with Truly?
No, that's why the Truly needs a companion.
Green Elf needs food. Okay, so again, thank you. Join us next week for both of our shows, all starting around the 9 o'clock hour in the East Coast. And from myself and Jen, we say goodbye.
Goodbye.